Hello teacups, what's brewing? So we're back with Chantal. I wasn't going to react to this today because I just posted my other reaction, but I'm stuck in the house all day, why not? So chicken parm cooking eat mukbang. By the way, I'm stuck in the house because I'm expecting a delivery. If it comes during this, it might interrupt the filming, sorry. Before we get into the video, I'm also going to look at a community post she did. And oh, my makeup today is the Natasha Denona Sunrise palette, if you're interested. The lips are the shade Smoked Almond from MAC, and the lip pencil is something I can't remember, Chicory, again from MAC. I'm going to put some timestamps somewhere, so if you want to skip through, go ahead. Okay, so let's just start with her community tab post first. I'll put it up somewhere so you can see it. I am just going to leave this here. I have some things I want to say re my weight. Yes, something I said I would never do. Wouldn't be the first time, lol. So she is at least admitting that she has completely done a U-turn here when she said insistently she would never do it and we shouldn't be asking her about it. She's a mukbang channel and how dare we. I weighed myself today. I weighed 401.3 pounds. My highest I ever weighed in before that was 400 pounds. The massive weight gain so many feel the need to be so opinionated on is a massive 1.3 pounds. I would say, one, I do not believe that for a second. She showed us 399.5. So I would not believe that she's gained less than 2 pounds since she showed us that, because visibly we've seen changes, and in her clothing hauls we've seen size increases. So it seems very unlikely to me that that would happen with a less than 2 pound gain. I mean, come on now, we've got eyes. We've got eyes, and you've shown us, maybe not intentionally, evidence that simply would make that untrue. I put up on my Twitter that I was like, either she's lying now or she was lying before. But there was no reason for her to lie before. She wouldn't have said she was 399 if she was lower than 399. So I'm sorry, but I simply don't believe it. I could be wrong. I don't see her scale. She's obviously never going to show us proof of this because... but I don't believe it. Not with the visible changes we've seen. It is not my goal to gain more weight. It is my goal to learn to stop hating the body I am in, to reject society's hatred for fat people, to reject diet culture, to slowly reduce my calorie intake to allow my hormones and metabolism to catch up and not make my body think I'm starving. So I'm starving it so that I will want to eat everything in sight. Mental hunger and physical hunger are different things. You can give your body everything you need on less than you currently give it. I do think there is definitely an argument for not going too extreme, and you failed on many extreme diets many times. So I don't think an extreme cut this, cut that is always going to be good for you mentally. But I do think with how bad off your body is, you may need to go a little faster than slow. I think you're in enough of a position that it's a good idea short term to just try and focus on getting as much weight off as you can. I personally think that keto is the fastest way for you to do that, or a low carb diet, but I don't think you're capable of sticking to it. So I'm not sure where to go there. But if you are saying you're reducing your calorie intake and you're doing that deliberately, that is a diet. It's not a crash diet. And like I said, you haven't succeeded on crash diets before, but it is a diet. That's what it's designed to do. I think it's great that she doesn't want to hate her body, but I think you can say, I don't hate my body, but I recognize that there are things about it that are healthier to change. Yeah, I think you can love yourself enough to make those changes, to give yourself a better quality of life. And that's always been a difference of opinion I've had with some elements of the body positivity community, the health at every size. I think you can practice healthy habits at most sizes. Once you get to the point where you're so big you struggle to move, it's difficult. But I don't see dieting as a form of self-hatred. I see it as a form of caring enough for myself to do things that I don't always enjoy that are good for me. Yeah? So I do recognize that there's a lot mentally strewn up with that and with societal expectations and all of it. But I think it's good if she's trying to take care of her mental health. I think she'd do better with a professional. She's been to many professionals and not followed through. So I will not restrict myself. I will not diet. I will not cut carbs or any other food groups. She doesn't have to follow a low carb diet. It's very popular now. It would have faster results for her, I think, but she doesn't have to do it. I find it easier to do past the first few days, which are hard, because when I'm not eating them, I tend to not crave them as much. But everyone is different in this regard. All of the issues I have cannot be beat with a diet or by cutting carbs or by vilifying certain foods or by hating myself and feeling like I committed a crime by eating too much. I know I have work to do on myself, as we all do. Absolutely. I would be the first to sit here and admit you have a complicated relationship with food. Yeah? Anybody who is morbidly obese to any degree has a complicated relationship with food, has food doing something for them that is not just satisfying hunger, or has a hunger that is not just physical. There is definitely a physical mental balance then. But this sounds an awful lot like disordered eating, which you claim you don't have. I am not going to waste my time striking channels. I'm not going to waste my time striking channels, but typos happen, for obsessing over my weight. I think that's very easy to say when you've already done it and succeeded once, and then done it and failed other times. It's really good to say, oh no, I'm not going to do this after you've done that. I'm not going to do it more, which I think is also a lie, but we'll see. I could care less if you are disgusted by my fupa or fat, etc. You shouldn't care. I always find it interesting, sorry, slight side note. There's a difference in England, we say I couldn't care less, and in America, you say, in America, and she's Canadian, I guess it's Canadian as well, you say I could care less. And to me, that doesn't make sense, because if you could care less, you care. You know? It's just a weird difference between our cultures. We always say I couldn't care less. I love myself and want to work on myself, but it isn't easy. No, it's not. Maybe if you followed any of the professionals you've been to, you'd find it easier, but I hope she is at least accessing someone professional now. It takes time. I am done apologizing and explaining myself for the way I am. Well, you're here, so I feel like that's not true. Now you know. Honey, we've known a long time. You're the one who's been denying it. Now I'm going to enjoy a good hearty meal and will continue to eat what I want on my channel. Well, what you want and what's good for you is going to be very different. So if you're going to address those little gremlins in your brain, and we do all have them, I have them myself, then doing that by eating whatever you want isn't the answer. All people eat, yes. Fat or thin, yes. Get over it. Fuck you. I think sitting here and saying, oh, get over it, I'm going to do what I want. Okay, but you're also not going to succeed. You have a right to pursue health in any way you feel is right, but you have a history showing you what doesn't work for you, and you have a history of ignoring what could work for you whenever it gets uncomfortable. This is her problem. She refuses to be uncomfortable. She thinks if she feels pressure of any kind, or if it's at all difficult, then it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen, and she's not going to do it. Because God forbid she be uncomfortable at any point. Weight loss, especially from the extreme you're taking it, it's going to be uncomfortable. Because you've had a lifetime of doing what you want, and this is where it's led. It's time to admit that what you want to do is not serving your health. And those changes are hard, and I don't underestimate that at all. I don't think she should starve herself. I don't think she's capable of starving herself, but I don't think she should do it even if she were. But saying I am going to control what I'm doing here is not the same as starving yourself, and she's too extreme in that thinking. It's only kale and quinoa or Big Macs. And it's nice that she is saying, okay, I recognize that kale and quinoa is not sustainable for me, but we've been here before and she's just given up on it after a few days. So there we go. Anyway, this is what she put up. She had a few other things about criticism because she's like that. But we're gonna see how this video goes and how it reflects what she's put up on her community tab, which frankly, it was posted 10 hours ago. I'm shocked it's still there.
Hello, Foodie Beauties.
Hello. Oh, hang on. Eating starts at 15:33. Okay, let me just turn this up. Sorry, guys. Unless I see something I want to comment on, I'm probably going to skip through the cooking process. I think we've seen it from her before. She's wearing her eyelash t-shirt.
Hey,
What was that?
Anyway, so yes, welcome back to my channel. All right.
That was weird. And I think maybe she's doing something that Nick Carter does. It feels like something he'd do.
Right. So feeling refreshed after a few days of feeling not so fresh. But I'm back to make a wonderful dish, one of my favorites. I'm so excited to make this. I'm gonna make everything from scratch. The tomato sauce, the chicken part, everything. Well, minus the pasta, but you get the idea. And I'm not making cheese from scratch. That's right.
That's fair. I mean, I think I made pasta from scratch once just as something to do, but I wouldn't expect either.
Draw the line. But I'm going to make chicken parmesan, one of my favorite meals. I usually order it from one of my favorite restaurants or a couple of my favorite restaurants. I love this. It's such a comfort.
A couple of her favorites. Oh, I did want to say, someone left a comment. I made a comment recently. I can't remember which video it was. She had like her favorite Greek, whatever video that was. Feels like a lifetime ago. And I said, you know, every restaurant is a favorite restaurant. It's a low bar. And the commenter actually pointed something out. I was like, huh, fair point. Where she said, well, don't we all go to our favorite restaurant for different kinds of food? Like if you want Indian food, you go to your favorite Indian restaurant. If you want Thai food, you go to your favorite Thai restaurant. And I was like, that's a fair point. I don't think I necessarily spoke correctly when I was making that video, because fair point. I might have been being unfair to her there. We do that. I was more thinking, and I don't think I articulated this, that she claims every restaurant is her favorite. Because I think in her head it kind of justifies, well, it was my favorite, so it was an acceptable treat. And so the word becomes somewhat meaningless. But that's not what I said in my other video, so fair point, thank you for saying it.
On this channel, carbs are not bad, all right? So, we are going to make chicken parm. So, without further ado, let's get to it.
At least she's cooking, although I wouldn't say
guys,
this is a great idea, but...
What I'm going to do now is
break a
use
finger.
a meat tenderizer
Break a
mallet
finger.
to use the flat end to just pound out the chicken.
Guys, what's going on with her arm there? It's looking quite mottled. Like, I react really badly to mosquito bites. So when I get mosquito bites, and if I have multiples in the same area, sometimes I go to sleep and there's a mosquito in the room, they eat me alive while I'm sleeping, and I wake up with my arm like that. It gets like white and kind of hard, and then it's mottled around. I don't know if she's just been eaten alive or if this is some of the allergy she has to her cats maybe, but that don't look right, dude.
They're nice brown.
Can I just say, I've stopped it to say, our foodie is using a fork to flip the chicken. That might be a choice, but guys, does she still not have a spatula? Is this what's happening here?
Oh yeah, okay. A few more minutes there.
That looks quite nice.
About 5. And I have some mozzarella. Strike.
You guys, she got a big old bowl of cheese. You're just gonna have to take my word for it. I'm struggling. I'm on the struggle bus here trying to get the right part. In her community tab, before the one I read, she put up a questionnaire, just, a poll, saying, hey, which would you like to see? Vegan kitchen in my car? And I was like, oh no, not this again. And then I was like, thankfully, she said chicken parm, homemade chicken parm, but she said healthier chicken parm. Look how much cheese she is putting on this. Like, she could totally have a nice cheesy topping and use half of what she's used here, really. I mean, it's small changes, it really is. She can take in a lot of calories and still lose weight. I'm not saying do without it, but I'm saying she could have very easily controlled her portion here and not have felt deprived.
Cheese. Yes, indeed. It's coming too.
Look at it.
Have some cheese.
Have a bowl of cheese. If she's got 1 or 2 pieces of chicken on there, it looks like a fairly good portion, but sometimes the perspective fools us on that. But like I said, she can afford to have a bigger portion if she wants to, so long as she's not eating all the other junk she eats, so it's not too bad. Why has she got more cheese on top of this though, you guys? Did you see how much cheese was on that chicken parm? Like, she doesn't need that shaky cheese on top of it. She really doesn't.
Oh, hello guys. Well, it's ready. Sink full of dishes I have to get rid of after this video.
I can't see any dishes in her sink. Am I going crazy?
Oh. Alright, so what I'm going to do is take a bite of this chicken and spaghetti at the same time. So I put a bit of Parm cheese. So cheesy.
You've got...
On this.
She just said it's so cheesy, and she's like moving a layer of cheese away from her chicken. Why do you need Parm as well? Why?
Beauty bite. It's going to be hot.
Her and spaghetti, it's never my favourite. Just let it cool. You don't have to serve it straight out of the oven.
I see.
Oh. I was like, why is it not? She's edited it in again. I know it's her thing, but she's not doing anything with it. She's not getting merch. She's not like, why does she insist? It really creeps me out when she inserts it into the audio, but her mouth doesn't move. Like a demon doll.
That tomato sauce is so good. Like, oh man, that tastes like chicken parmesan.
Well, it's chicken
It's like I
parm,
have
so
at
good job.
restaurants.
Just twirl it. It will be a tidier bite. I'm amazed, can I just say, through the cooking process, which I've cut most out of, she's wearing that flesh-coloured t-shirt that's slightly too light for her, but I am amazed she didn't get tomato paste down it. We'll see if the spaghetti survives the meal. The t-shirt survives the spaghetti of the meal, but that's gonna stain. It's got tomato paste in, so I'm not hopeful for her clothing right now.
It is very hot. Though.
You could just wait. You could.
Put my elbows on the table if I want. Remember I told you about my camp horror stories?
Your made-up camp horror story, yeah.
They made you like push a spoon across the floor in front of everybody in the eating hall if you put your elbows on the table.
Did they?
Chantal, keen and able, get your elbows off the table. This is not a horse's table, but a first-class dining table. Stand up.
Well, I'm so glad you learned from that experience. If you hated doing it so much, why do it? Like, this leads to something I hate, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Please. So horrifying. Like, what are you trying to do? Traumatize children?
Trying to teach you better manners. Clearly it did not stick. My God. When I used to hold my knife and fork in the wrong hand, my dad used to smack my hand and take my knife and fork away. And then I had to wait a few minutes, and then he's like, are you ready to eat correctly? Gave me back my knife and fork so I could finish my food. You correct children. And you were eating in public, and clearly you needed the correction.
You know me and Parm cheese, okay?
So much of it. She had a ton of it beforehand and already melted cheese.
Teach kids manners, but come on, there's got to be a more efficient way. I'm so good.
Well, most people, realize I don't like the results of this and they stop. The fact that you're stubborn is not their problem. There must be a better way. What, just not correcting?
My elbows on the table, I don't care what you say.
The fact that she's still like, I don't care, I'm gonna do it anyway. As a grown adult, 20 to 25 years later? That is the stuff she holds on to, but she's not bitter.
The breading absorbed a lot of the juice from the tomatoes.
It's alright, we'll just add some more cheese. lubricate that.
It's made the chicken very tender.
So much pasta. The more she's moving it, the more I'm realizing how dense the pile is.
Yeah, so those of you who are new, or I told a story a couple years ago. My mom sent me away to this summer camp. She thought she was, you know, parents want their kids involved in things.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, that sounds fun. It was a nightmare. But particularly, I had to share a cabin with some snotty girls, but also just how they would humiliate you in like the dining hall if you put your elbows on the table.
Stop doing it. That was probably the point. Hey, you have a choice. You can be humiliated or you can eat like a person. Think about it. Think about it. Obviously, the lesson did not stick. Also, I love that she calls them snotty girls. I've never heard her describe someone pleasantly. Any other woman. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but at some point she becomes the common denominator. You don't seem a delight to live with, let's be fair.
And it was just like...
I mean, don't get me wrong, going away, it's the roll of a dice over who you share with, but...
Everyone's watching you push a spoon across the floor with your nose.
Yeah.
Which is not really easy to do.
Yeah.
And
also, generally, when you've got those things in place, it doesn't tend to be an instant punishment. Like, you get a warning first, because when you have these things, the whole point, you always give a warning to a child if you're going to instill a consequence, because they have to have an opportunity to recognize that they can change their behavior and make a better choice. That's really important. The punishment isn't just to punish, it's meant to promote better choices. It's meant to make children realize, okay, I can do this and then this won't happen. So there's no way those people just went, oh, elbows on the table, right, you done. Like, she would have had a warning first and chosen not to take it, in which case you get what you get. I mean, they didn't exactly put you on the rack.
I'm kind of annoyed because I got in the groceries today. Every night I've been enjoying watching one of my shows and having a snack.
I exhibit shock.
And I've been eating these Smart Food.
Light, delicious, white cheddar. Is it popcorn? Yeah, popcorn.
50 calories per cup white cheddar popcorn. And I like these chips. Like, I mix the popcorn in. The popcorn makes the bulk of the snack, and then a few of these.
I suppose it's cheese popcorn, but she mixes it with chips? That seems weird.
But I just found out that there's a recall on these. Because there's like glass in them.
I love that her biggest concern is, well, now I can't eat them. I'm like, dude, you might have glass in your food. Let's keep it in perspective.
And yeah, I checked the date. I'll have to check. I'll make sure like it's within the recall range, but I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay, so
that's
be
annoying.
thankful
yeah,
you
I like
didn't
having,
swallow
I should
glass.
try some
Glass?
Sprite Zero, or I use like the No Name brand. Spritz it up with some fresh lemon squeezed in. It's very refreshing. I don't know.
If you're just looking for the lemon taste, like, get some fizzy water and put lemon in. You'll probably get the same effect.
I find most soda dehydrates you more, but there's something about the lemon lime sodas that are more refreshing, you know?
I mean, I'd say just drink water, but she does. She does as well as soda, so. Why is she making that face at me? Like she's just proven a point. Like, argue with me, haters. So much. It's a wall that moves every time she pushes it.
Watching people eat pasta is one of those things you either like or hate. Which I'm assuming if you're here, you don't mind it.
Love it.
But
That's
that's probably not the case.
Yeah, that's not the case. You sucking down pasta is not my favourite thing, I'm not gonna lie. But I go through it so I can watch you. So I'm a loyal subscriber.
Parmesan went flying everywhere.
Oh, your poor shirt.
Wrap the chicken in the pasta. The weather's so weird today, like
That's quite
in the
warm.
teens all week.
Yeah, that's quite
So
warm for November.
Pizza and I are going to take advantage of that tomorrow. I have some peanuts I'm going to go feed. There's a squirrel park
You go walk. Oh my goodness, this health kick is really kicking in. Just wipe your mouth. Thank you. Oh no, shaky cheese. I thought she was gonna wipe the mouth.
There's a squirrel park, so.
How much of that is she eating now? Like the cheese. I mean the meal as well, but.
We're gonna go feed the squirrels. Go for a walk. That'll be fun. I love squirrels. They're so
hold
cute.
her knife and fork?
Aren't they just cute? I love rodents. I find them cute. I don't understand people's fear of rodents. It might be the disease part, I guess people are scared of.
Oh, that's cute.
But
I wouldn't say I'm scared of a squirrel.
You, do they?
I don't particularly want a rat in the house, but we've had my dad and my mum actually, where they live, they've got lots of kind of greenery and fields around them, so occasionally you'll get a mouse in the house and you'll just have to, you know, take care of it. But I don't particularly want them, but I'm not massively scared if it's a little field mouse. But I don't want a big old rat anywhere.
My weakness is I love cheese so much, like all kinds of cheese.
I see that. You don't have to have all kinds in one meal.
Basically. Doesn't always agree with me if I eat too much.
This is too much. Just FYI, this is too much. Bear in mind she has no gallbladder and she has a lot of gastro issues, shall we say, and she's actively going to a doctor because of those gastro issues, and she's still not changing her diet to reflect her needs.
Depends what kind of dairy. My body's weird like that. Oh no, you can't come up here.
It's not weird.
No, you can't. I'm eating.
This is how you know she's on her new influencer kick. Like, aside from the fact that she cooked and she's kind of been turning that way anyway, she's trying to rebrand. She made a point of being like, I will have my cats on the counter in her last video. Not her last video. In a recent video when she was actually like, fuck you guys. And I was like, okay, it's you with all the cat litter crap on your surfaces as you eat. And now she's like, no, you can't come up here, I'm eating, because she's a delicate flower who you know, loves her audience and is nothing but positive and recognizes that cleanliness is important. Seems an uncomfortable.
Really big bite.
By all means, don't make it smaller if you know that. It seems an uncomfortable place for the cat, but it chooses to be there, so. Calm down, you're gonna choke. You could have controlled the size of that bite.
There's this one milk bar. Hi.
Stop.
She's tiny. And she just opens her mouth wide and just huge bites.
Her boyfriend must love her.
Like I've never seen.
I love that she felt the need to point out that she was tiny there. I suppose because the bites are so huge. But like, see, small people eat mukbangs.
Flinch, doesn't choke.
Get your hands off the cat when you're eating. You were doing so well there.
I got tired all of a sudden.
Could be the pound of pasta you're eating.
Running around. You're the runaround.
You were not running around.
Run around.
When were you running around?
You know what? When you're a person who doesn't really exercise.
Exercise, move, same difference.
Which I know is not. Yes, I know exercise is good for me. I'm just saying, for somebody who doesn't exercise.
It's good for you.
Just doing things like errands and cooking, running around in your kitchen cooking and...
Let's be clear. You didn't run around in your kitchen. We can almost see the stove from where you're sitting. It's a kind of a galley kitchen. It's not large. It's fine for her purposes, but she could reach over and almost be touching her stove. So she stood next to her stove while she was cooking. She stood up. But when she was preparing the other stuff, she was sitting at the island. She showed us. I did cut it out, sorry guys. But she showed us during her meal prep. For all the parts that weren't active heating, she was sat at the island. That's not running around, that's barely moving. That is you standing for short periods of time. So don't fool yourself into thinking, oh no, well, it was really hard work. You know, it's more movement than you do, but that's a problem. You didn't run around. You weren't on your knees scrubbing the floor. You weren't doing any heavy duty housework. You were standing by a stove for short periods of time while taking sitting breaks. Be aware of how limited your mobility is, because I know it's a horrible thing to face, But so long as you're lying to yourself like this, saying, no, I really got to work out, I was working hard, you're not going to be able to improve it. You have to be honest with yourself.
Freaking workout, man.
No. Cleaning a full house, dragging around appliances, getting down and scrubbing, things like doing a proper clean is a workout. Yeah, you'll feel it. Going up and down stairs with a vacuum, you feel that. It's tiring. Like really getting into some of the chores, yeah, you move around a lot. But that's not what you did. You stood by a stove for a short amount of time.
Housework is even less than on my MyFitnessPal's exercise.
Yeah, when you're doing it.
Now, somebody who's super in shape, no, that wouldn't be a big deal. You know.
You don't know. Not someone super in shape. A normal person does housework. And don't come after me for the use of normal, yeah? I'm saying it doesn't take a super fit, trained person to do basic housework.
Oh, you. Look at him how he hangs down.
Just making sure he has an escape route.
Sam, you're weird, Sam.
Glass
And
houses,
you like to use him
stones.
as a pillow, look. Oh, this is cozy.
I feel like let's might be might be ambitious. He was sitting there perfectly fine, then you shoved your head on him, and now he's like, what?
He's weird.
He's weird. Smaller bites. Your food's not running away. It's already cooked. Smaller bites are fine.
This was really good. This was very delicious, and it wasn't even that hard.
It seems like a decent enough meal.
You know, like you could even use just jar sauce.
You could.
I'm gonna be cooking another African dish soon. I've been craving it so bad. I bought a food processor just to make this recipe. But
She's bought a lot of appliances recently. She had the deep fat fryer because apparently her air fryer isn't good enough. I don't understand why. God forbid she just do something slightly healthier that's easy that she already has and didn't have to spend money on. She bought a new Instant Pot, which I'm a little bit jealous of, not gonna lie, but she's bought that, which she didn't use to make the tomato sauce. I guess she only just wanted to make it quickly. There was no need to get the huge Instant Pot out for that. But she could have made more of the sauce, jarred it up, put it in her freezer, and then that would have been super easy if she wanted to make this dish again, or if she just wanted to make a pasta dish, she could use the same sauce. But she didn't, but it would have been an easy way to meal prep, just partial ingredients to make cooking more streamlined and easier later. And speaking of jarred sauces, and she's got that food processor now. Like, what else did she buy? That's a fair amount on appliances. She always goes in for a big shopping haul before she starts a new cycle.
Well, to use it for other things, obviously, right?
Yeah, I mean, at least she's going to be cooking this herself instead of getting BB, so.
I didn't go to Farm Boy today. My favorite grocery store. Farm Boy is a food lover's dream. Or worst nightmare.
I get the impression from the way she talks about it, Farm Boy is the equivalent to like Whole Foods in America or Trader Joe's. Is that right, or is she just overplaying what it is? Let me know if you're Canadian, please.
Oh my god.
All the fresh food she buys that's
stores
homemade
you go in and it's
by the
just
store.
Indulgence, and they just have so much good stuff. Yeah, this chicken parmesan tastes like my favorite. I have a restaurant in my hometown where I have, like, it's my favorite. They make really good chicken parmesan.
Okay. Well, I'm glad the recipe's worked out for her. I mean, as much as I think there are things she could have done with this recipe, I am at least pleased she's cooking. That's something, you know? Because she's not been doing much of that, let's face it. And if it's a step in the right direction, we can make another step. But I think I might be getting ahead of myself because thus far she has not stayed on anything long enough to make that step.
By the way, after wearing all those wigs, it actually made me miss and appreciate my own hair.
Okay.
It looks like crap right now.
That's something
but when I
good.
do it nice, it doesn't look that bad. And
Actually, that's true. When she makes an effort, it doesn't.
it's just wearing a wig, for me personally, my scalp itches, and it's just like you're always having to like watch it doesn't fly off. And
A wig properly fitted shouldn't fly off. Like, that shouldn't be an issue, especially as she had a cap under it. Now, she only wears them occasionally. I don't glue mine down. She clearly didn't glue hers down. But even without that, I don't actually wear a cap because I've got a shaved head underneath. There's no need. But I would say if it's itching, one, that will be the quality of the wig you have, because I wear this directly against my head and it doesn't itch. And two, probably she's been saying, look, it's easier than doing your hair, so she doesn't have to take care of her hair. So probably the hair underneath has been pretty dirty and that's not helped you, you know? So I would say there's a certain amount of user error there. Well, not even error, things that she could change to make that more comfortable. But a cheap wig is a cheap wig, and sometimes they itch.
The other day I was driving home, I wore a wig and I tossed it in the back and I stopped to get gas. There was a full serve gas station, which are very rare these days.
Oh, yeah. I don't see many of those.
And the guy was pumping my gas and he's like, are those hair extensions in the back? And I was like, oh. I'm like, it's a wig.
You should have like dead eye stared him and been like, it's a severed head, and just see what he did. I'm a troll in all areas of my life.
He gave me a card. He's like, my boss cleans cards.
Oh, burn.
I was like, oh. Like, are you trying to tell me something here?
Yes, clearly. You need your car
clean,
cleaned.
Honestly.
Be the first time for everything.
It is what it is. My car is a mess. And yes, I should keep it cleaner than I do. I should keep a lot of things cleaner than I do. All right.
Especially with how much food you eat in there. That gets ingrained really quickly.
You know, it's a struggle. Like, I'm just gonna be real with you guys. I've never been a super clean person when it comes to housework.
Super clean or clean?
Bare minimum. Seriously.
Yeah, we guessed.
And
if she struggles this much to move around her kitchen, not even move, to stand at a stove for limited time, there's no way she's able to clean thoroughly. Because it does take, when you're doing it properly, it takes effort. She really struggles getting up and down those stairs, so vacuuming those is going to be really difficult. Even on the flat areas, like her living room, like her upstairs banister, having to carry it up and down is going to be hard. Maybe she gets Pete to do that, who knows? Because Pete isn't one for housework, he said that. But she's got 2 long-haired cats. I mean, I know Pete's cat stays in his room, but that's going to be everywhere. Like, you need to clean for those things, especially if she has allergies. So, you know, there's a lot of things that she needs to do that she won't be able to and just can't be bothered to, you know, even without the physical limitations. But I imagine it's very difficult to keep a base level of cleanliness in her home.
I have to really force myself. I took the card and the price was decent, and I'm gonna get my car cleaned.
Okay, good. That's something. I mean, if you're not going to do it yourself, better to do it. What the fuck was that? She's done this to us twice now where she's like, argue with me, call me lazy. I'm not sitting here insulting you for it. I'm saying, if you are not going to do it yourself, better to recognize it and get somebody in to clean. I'd say with your apartment as well, hire a cleaner to come a couple of hours a week. I mean, I don't think she wants to, because she doesn't want, like when the nurse was visiting, she doesn't want the faff of having someone in there and having to take a look at actually how she lives and be embarrassed by it. But she could afford to hire a cleaner once or twice a week for an hour or two. Her apartment's nice, but it's not that big. And just to get the big jobs done, to vacuum, to mop, to do the stuff that she doesn't want to do and maybe doesn't have the physical capabilities of doing. And then she can just keep it tidier between. And I think that would be a really good choice for her, so then at least she can have a clean environment. Because like I've said before, my environment massively impacts my mental health, and my mental health massively impacts my environment. So keeping things clean around you through any method is going to be a positive thing.
Plain and simple. Forgot to make an appointment to get my tires changed too, for 2 winter tires.
Oh yeah, that's important. Be
Is
safe.
my time of year is coming up.
I mean, she doesn't drive safely, so at least have the correct equipment. Fortunately, it's 18 degrees, so she doesn't have to worry
I
about
don't
it
think
right
I'm gonna
now.
decorate for Christmas. Like, there's just no point. Like,
Why?
I might put some lights on my mantle, and that's about it. I'd buy a tree.
She spent a ton of effort doing all the Halloween stuff. Why wouldn't you decorate for Christmas? I mean, she got like 2 weeks out of the Halloween, I would say. And Christmas, you can stretch out. It's 2020. You have as much Christmas as you want. I had people tell me they'd already put their tree up, and it's like November 7th. So you do the thing, my dear. You want 2 months of Christmas? It is 2020. You have 2 months of Christmas. You take whatever joy it brings you and you enjoy it.
It changes so fast. You know, you spend all that money and then, I don't know.
She's suddenly worried about money. She's had that massive torrid haul. She's bought 3 appliances that we know of. She's just done a grocery haul, which at the beginning of a health food kick, whether she's labeling it one or not, is always huge. Like, she a bit short cash? She a bit worried about her views? I know she has been worried about the cancelling of her channel and people reporting the videos. She did have to delete. Someone in my comments told me she deleted some videos totaling X amount of views. And I'm guessing they were the ones that Charlie Gold mentioned in her video as being labelled binge that were freely available on her channel. I'm guessing she went in and deleted those. I haven't gone and checked those, so I don't know. But it seems weird with all her other habits and the things she's been telling us that she's suddenly worried about money. Like, take the enjoyment, decorate it and enjoy the season. Why not?
But I'm getting excited to watch my traditional Christmas movies.
Oh, nice.
Every year. Muppets Christmas, Charlie Brown Christmas, Rudolph, Frosty.
Oh, well, that'll be nice. I'm looking forward when I get home. Like, I'm going to have to isolate for a bit. And I love all the really schmaltzy made-for-TV Hallmark movies. And they go nuts. The countdown to Christmas just goes and goes and goes. And I am here for this absolute trash TV. I am here for the feel-good nature of it. So that's probably what I'm going to be doing while isolating in my family home. It's going to be amazing. Really get into the season because I can't. I'm still excited, guys. Actually get a Christmas. This is like, she's looking forward to the movies. That's nice. I really think she should decorate the apartment. I know she doesn't look the happiest there. Matt freeze frames. Like I said, your environment affects your mental state. And if 2020 has had so much negativity, if you've got it to spend a little bit extra and enjoy yourself. You know, it's Christmas, embrace the season and try and end the year on as positive note as you can. I think for all it might cost a little, and it doesn't have to. You can make decorations, you can make it be a little project to do, you know, you can just buy some paper and go to town. But just enjoy it a little bit, embrace it a little bit. It's signaling the end of the year. If nothing else, that should be celebrated.
I don't like any of those like Hallmark.
I love them.
Or like Christmas holiday romance movies.
Unashamedly love them.
Like the Christmas Prince or whatever, I don't
know. Don't get me wrong. They are absolutely uniformly terrible. I adore them.
Those ones.
I do not regret.
I watch horror movies all year long.
You do you.
Whew. Okay, yeah, now I'm good.
Thank God, because it was huge.
I did a good job. Pat myself.
Good job.
I really enjoyed that.
I've seen you do worse.
I guess I will get to enjoy my glass chips, but
you've just had a fair amount of pasta, an entire chicken breast deep fried and some sauce, and about 6 platefuls of the Parmesan cheese on top of the cheese you put on it. You don't need the chips. You're good, honey. Just, you know, let go of the glass-ridden food and accept that it's not for you.
I'm gonna open carrot glass. That must have somebody had a chip.
Did she just say she was gonna open them? Wait for the next emergency room visit. There was blood. I don't know why. Did you eat the glass chips? Yes, I just tried them.
And there was like glass fragments in it.
That's awful.
And they needed like minor dental work. I'd be like suing for the minor.
Yeah.
You know what? You can say I'm suing, but it costs money to sue people.
She has looked into it. All the copyright issues she has on YouTube, you know she's looked into it. I mean, some of the no-win, no-fee places are scams, but I'd say that's the way to go forward if you're not sure. But the fact that she's checked. But I would say, hey, there is glass in my food is probably an easier win than some of the crap she tries to sue for or wants to sue for.
So a lot of people, you know, go to Judge Judy. I'd be too intimidated to go to Judge Judy because she really lets you have it.
Yeah, I don't imagine any judge would be particularly patient with the bullshit you would bring to court. But yeah, Judge Judy would be would be an experience.
I think I would probably cry.
I mean,
honestly.
Fair, you'd be ridiculous in court for ridiculous reasons. She would lay into you. After turning up to Judge Judy. You two hurt my feelings!
I don't blame her, honestly. She must see the most ridiculous cases on a daily basis. And at some point, she becomes so, like, desensitized and just annoyed that she has this, like, perma-bitch status going on, you know? That's the one thing I hate about cooking is all the freaking cleanup mess. And I do clean as I go, but the dishes...
She has a dishwasher, doesn't she? Wasn't she going on about how great the dishwasher was? She doesn't have to clean anything.
Excuse me, I guess I just have to load them in the dishwasher.
Yeah!
The pots, no. Those have to be scrubbed.
Do you guys not load pots into the dishwasher? We do in my house. Like, if it's, like, something that might be damaged, we'll wash that out. But, you know, rinse them, put them in the dishwasher, man.
No biggie.
Well, it's not supposed to be,
guys,
but for you it is.
This video, and I really appreciate you watching, and I hope it made you hungry. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
Bye. So, we done. I think it's good that she's cooking. I think there are a lot of changes she could make to make it healthier. She does assume that anything cooked at home is healthier than anything you buy from a restaurant. It's not a bad assumption to have. It's not a bad habit to get into. I'd like to see more of it. But she's talking about slow changes. I think she's working a little too slow. And if she had a doctor that was helping her, a doctor that had given her a plan, someone professional she was talking to, which we've seen no evidence of, but we have seen her refuse to follow many times, then that would be a little different. But I do think she needs professional guidance with this. She'll probably never get it. But for now, if she takes the step to cooking her own food and that leads to a step of her maybe making better choices with her own food, then great, that's look in the right direction. But I'm going to reserve very heavily congratulating her on this until I see more consistency. But I would love to see that consistency. All right, everybody, I'm going to leave you here. Thank you so much. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, dislike, whatever you want. It's all available to you, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.